Hola mis conejitos, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Alicia. Hello my bunnies, how are you? My name is Allison and today we are playing Nancy Drew, Treasure in the Royal Tower. Now, the reason I'm having it this way instead of actually showing you the game is because I realized the one bit that I did show you guys on how to install the games correctly, at least for the older games, I did that in the middle of a playthrough of Nancy Drew rather than right at the beginning. So I'm going to do it one more time just to be sure you guys understand what's going on. So, if you're playing the older games from like I know some people can't play game number 14 and behind and earlier than that. For me, I couldn't play anything before number 10, which is Secret of the Old Clock. So, I had to or no, sorry, number 10 is Secret of the Shadow Ranch. I couldn't play any of the games older than that. So, I was able to get an advice from someone telling me that what the best way to do it is to create a folder. It doesn't matter where on your computer, but you need to create a folder, title it whichever you want. For me, I like to have things in numerical order, so I put 4 Treasure in the Royal Tower. And so in the process of installing your game, you want to make sure that here, let me show you. To here, we go to here where it says DVD RW. That's what it says for me, but for yours, I'm sure it's going to say CD-ROM. You want to avoid any of these. You want to make sure that it says application in the underneath where it says type. You want to make sure it says application. You click on that, right click, and run as administrator. There is a process in the installation where it asks if you want to install DivX. Say no. Never, never, ever, ever say yes. I haven't seen the situation of what happens if you do say yes, but I know it's best to say no, because you probably already have the current update of DivX, which helps make your game run much better. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Nancy Drew file I have. So when you, during the installation, it'll tell you program file that it thinks best to have the game set or located in your computer. Click on browse next to that. It should say browse, BROWSE. Click on browse, try to find the folder that you had created, click on that, and then continue the installation. Again, say no when it asks you to install DivX, because your computer already has an updated version of that. So I'm going to go ahead and open this because that's the game we are playing. And you can go ahead and like click on the game to open it. But for me, I want to be safe and right click, run as administrator. That is if you are the administrator of your game. So I'm going to go ahead and open it and play the game. So we are gonna hit new game.
Hi there, it's me, Nancy Drew. You're
Yay.
Just in time for my latest mystery, Treasure in the Royal Tower. Choose your difficulty level to start off. If you're new to adventure games, you might want to click the tutorial button first for a few tips on how to play the game.
Now, I'm sure most of you who are watching this have already played Nancy Drew before, but if not, I think I'm gonna go ahead and hit the tutorial just to show you guys a little bit of what Nancy Drew is like.
Okay, in this game, your mission is to solve the mystery.
Ooh,
Step
what's
into
that
my
sound?
shoes. You'll be my eyes and ears and choose what I do. Get ready, because there's a lot to do. When you're in the center of a room, you can turn around in a circle to see the whole room. Move your cursor to the left or right edge of the screen. An arrow will appear that allows you to turn in that direction when you click on it. A forward arrow allows you to advance in the direction you want to go. Likewise, a back arrow allows you to take a step back. Sometimes up and down arrows will be available too. Give it a try. Find the forward arrow and take a step over to that round table to see what's there.
And also another thing, if you do left click, it's a small follow, but if you right click, it is much faster. And we're getting dizzy.
I always carry my magnifying glass with me to scan for clues. When it turns red, I know I'm onto something. Move your mouse until the magnifying glass turns red. See what I mean? The magnifying glass is quite a handy tool. When it turns red, you can use it to open and close things, pick up objects, and move things around. When you want to go back to where you came from or turn around, find where your cursor turns into a U-turn at the bottom of the screen and click.
So what's cool is that Sassy Detective is actually a magazine. I don't know if it's a real magazine, but I know it's used several times in different Nancy Drew games. For instance, what was it, number 8? Sorry. I know I played that game. Number 8, The Haunted Carousel.
Take a few steps over to the desk. There, you will find my room card key. All right. When you find something useful in the game, you can pick it up and carry it around with you. Want to try? Pick up the key. Good work. You're a natural. To use one of these objects, just move your mouse over it in the toolbox on the right and click on it. See how your cursor turns into that item? Then you can click on the area where you want to use it. Is that everything? Oh, I almost forgot one of the most important detective skills. You know, questioning suspects. In the game, you can talk to the people you meet. The conversation will appear in the text box next to the toolbox. The words of the person you're talking to will be in blue, and my replies will be in white. Select a question or a reply by clicking on it, and listen to what your suspect says next. Give it a try. Hello there. What brings you to Wickford Castle? Never mind that. What I'd like to know is, why are you hiding behind that plant? If there are a lot of words in the text box, you know how some people can talk. Those bars to the right move up and down so that you can read along. Okay, we're almost done. At the bottom left is a little pocket watch where you can check the time in the game. You can also advance time by resetting the alarm clock by the bed if you're impatient for night to fall or the sun to rise. If you make a major mistake, say you fall off a roof or blow something up, you can select Second Chance from the main menu to get back to where you were before you goofed. And if you get stuck or feel like talking to someone you know you can trust, you can always call Beth and George or Ned. So that's it. You're ready to tackle the case. I'll return you to the player challenge screen where you can start the game. Junior Detective is not quite as tough as the senior level, so you might want to start there. You never know what you'll turn up in the game, so be sure to explore. Don't forget to trust your instincts and have fun. Good luck.
Yay! So I'm going to click Junior Detective, mainly because there are some puzzles in the Senior Detective that are pretty hard for me. Yeah, me, considering I'm a Nancy Drew gamer.
Dear George, so much for my Wisconsin ski vacation. I arrived here at Wickford Castle last night, just before a blizzard swept in. The mountain is completely shut down, and the surrounding roads are closed. I think I'm one of the few guests who made it to the castle at all. The place is huge and old, and slightly creepy under the circumstances. You should hear this wind. What's more, the owner, Christy Lane, my father's friend, is away on business. I tried to ask the caretaker, Dexter Egan, how I could contact her, but he said he didn't know. Doesn't that seem odd? I couldn't help feeling like there was something he wasn't telling me. All this makes me a little nervous, but I'm determined to enjoy myself. After all, this is a vacation, right? I have big plans to explore the castle. That Ezra Wickford, the original owner, must have been quite a character to have built such an extraordinary place. It's filled with strange, dead-end corridors, for one thing. And I noticed one of the towers is totally different from the other ones. Of course, I'll have to save some time to meet Jacques Brunet, the French ski instructor. Tell Beth she'll be the first to know if he's half as gorgeous in person as he looks on his website. So, George, I guess things never quite go according to plan, but at least this time, the culprit is just a snowstorm. Now all I need is a mailbox.
That was a little off, don't you think? Oh, there's that sound again. What's this? Locker 310-517. 517. Okay, I can remember that. Okay, so I do have to mention, I'm actually having a bit of an acid reflux problem right now. So you're going to be hearing quite a bit of burping and possibly farting. I don't know. I don't know which one will be louder. Ooh, hey, a menu. Okay, so here's the situation.
Sounds like the radiator is broken.
Right. There's Sassy Detective. Woo! When we touch things, some of the oil from our skin is left behind on the surface of the thing we have touched. Our fingertips each have a unique pattern on them, and the oil shows, or prints, this pattern. This is how we get the term fingerprint. When you touch several surfaces with the same fingertip, the oil begins to get used up, so the fingerprint becomes lighter and lighter. The most common method of discovering fingerprints is called dusting. When you brush a light powder over a surface, the powder, or dust, will cling to the oil left by fingertips, revealing the fingerprints. Remember, fingerprints will appear in darker or lighter shades depending upon how much oil is present. Now, Sassy Detectives, put 2 and 2 together to figure out how to determine a keypad access code. Here's a little test. If you saw the 4 fingerprints below, what order would you put them in from first to last? Will the darkest fingerprint be the first button that was pressed, or the last? So then, what's the code? It would be the first button that's pressed, because the more you press, the lighter the oil. So it's going to be 1, 7, 3, 5. You got it? Good. Alright, now let's get out of this room and get away from that noise. Okie dokie. So that was 205. Alrighty. Let's explore the castle.